Yo, listen up, this is the story of Aunt Glizzy, a DC native, a man who rose from nothing, and then fell hard. Real hard, but let me take you back. Back to where it all began. The streets of Washington, D.C. That's where our boy Ant cut his teeth. Growing up wasn't easy for Ant. He faced struggles, he faced hardships, but he had dreams, big dreams, and a voice that needed to be heard. The streets were his first audience, his first stage, and boy did he perform. He spit rhymes that spoke to the soul of the city. Ant's talent was raw, it was real, it was undeniable. Ant's rise in the music world was meteoric. It was like watching a rocket take off. One minute he was performing in local clubs. The next, he was signing record deals, big ones, the kind that change lives overnight. Ant had arrived, and he was ready to show the world what DC was made of. His first album dropped like a bomb. It shook the industry. Critics praised his raw talent. Fans couldn't get enough. The streets that raised him, they were proud. Ant was putting DC on the map. He was more than just a rapper, he was a hometown hero, a symbol of hope for every kid with a dream. The hits kept coming. All good things come to an end. And for Ant, the end came fast. It came hard. His third album flopped, critics tore it apart, fans turned their backs. The golden boy of DC, he was tarnished. The fall was spectacular. It was painful to watch. Ant went from hero to zero overnight. The industry is unforgiving. It doesn't care about your past glory. It's all about what you can do now. And Ant, he couldn't deliver. Record labels started to distance themselves. Shows got canceled. The phone stopped ringing. Ant was left standing alone, wondering what went wrong. But it wasn't just the music. Ant's personal life was in shambles. Scandals erupted. Rumors spread like wildfire. When the music stopped, Ant had to pivot. He had to find a new way, a new voice, and he found it online. Blogging became his new stage, his new microphone. At first, it was just a way to stay relevant, to keep his name out there. But it quickly became more, much more. Ant's first blog posts were raw. They were unfiltered, just like his music used to be. He talked about his fall from grace. He didn't hold back. He aired out dirty laundry, his own and others. People couldn't look away. It was like watching a car crash in slow motion, but they kept coming back for more. As his audience grew, so did Ant's ambition. He wasn't just blogging anymore, he was building a brand, a new identity. Section 5. Building a digital empire. The new Ant Glizzy. Ant's transition from rapper to blogger wasn't smooth, it wasn't pretty, but it was effective. He built his online presence with the same hunger he once had for music. Every post, every video, every tweet was calculated, designed to grab attention, to stir the pot. And it worked. Boy, did it work. His following grew exponentially. Hundreds became thousands. Thousands became millions. Ant wasn't just a blogger anymore. He was an influencer, a tastemaker. He had the power to make or break careers, to start trends, to shape opinions. And he wielded that power like a weapon. But Ant's empire wasn't built on positivity. It was built on controversy, on conflict, on drama. He became known for his expose videos, his truth-telling posts. He aired out everyone's dirty laundry. Section 6. Controversy clicks Ant's online antics. Controversy became Ant's bread and butter, his lifeline. Every post was designed to shock, to provoke, to enrage. He didn't just cross lines, he obliterated them. Privacy, respect, decency, these were foreign concepts to Ant. All that mattered were the clicks, the views, the engagement. One week, he'd expose a rapper's cheating scandal. The next, he'd leak unreleased tracks from a rival artist. He aired out private conversations, shared sensitive information. Nothing was off limits. Ant was a one-man tabloid, a gossip machine, and the internet couldn't get enough of it. But it wasn't just about gossip. Ant positioned himself as a truth-teller, a whistleblower. He claimed to be exposing the dark underbelly of the music industry, the corruption. Section 7. Beefs and battles, Ant versus the world. Ant Glizzy didn't just have beef, he had the whole damn farm. Every day brought a new enemy, a new target, local rappers, national stars, industry execs, even fans. No one was safe from Ant's wrath, and he made sure everyone knew it. His Twitter beefs were legendary. They'd start with a snide comment, escalate to full-blown roasts, end with threats of violence. Ant didn't pull punches, he hit below the belt, he brought up old dirt, exposed new secrets. His feed was a battleground and he was always ready for war. But it wasn't just online. Ant's beef spilled into the real world. There were confrontations at clubs, shouting matches on the street, even a few physical altercations. Section 8. The DC Divide, How Ant Split the Scene. Ant's actions didn't just affect him, they sent shockwaves through the entire city. The ripples of his decisions were felt throughout the entire DC music scene, altering its very fabric. The community that once embraced him, it was now torn apart, divided. The bonds that held it together were fraying. You were either with Ant or against him. There was no room for ambiguity. There was no middle ground, no room for neutrality. The lines were drawn and everyone had to choose a side. Some local artists stood by him, unwavering in their support. They saw Ant as a necessary evil, a disruptor who was shaking up a stagnant and corrupt system. Others denounced him, called him a traitor, a cancer on the scene. Collaborations fell apart, friendships ended, the once tight-knit community was unraveling. The unity that once defined DC's hip-hop community, it was shattered. Venues started taking sides, creating further division. Some banned Ant and his supporters outright, refusing to host their events. Others welcomed them with open arms, seeing an opportunity in the chaos. Local radio stations were caught in the crossfire, unsure of how to navigate the controversy. Play Ant's old music, support his new content, ignore him completely. Every decision was scrutinized, criticized. The tension was palpable, and the stakes were high. As the divide grew, so did the violence. The city was on edge, and the future of its music scene hung in the balance. Section 9. From Rapper to Villain, the Public's Perception. Ant's transformation in the public eye was stark, dramatic. He went from hometown hero to public enemy number one. The journey was tumultuous, filled with highs and lows that kept everyone on edge. The change wasn't overnight, but it was undeniable. Every controversy, every beef, every exposed secret chipped away at his image. Each incident added another layer to the complex narrative surrounding him, until all that was left was the villain. To his supporters, Ant was a rebel, a truth-teller, someone brave enough to expose the industry's dark side. They believed he was shedding light on issues that others were too afraid to touch. They saw his actions as necessary, justified, even heroic. They wore his merch with pride, defended him fiercely online. To them, he was a symbol of resistance, a voice for the voiceless. To them, Ant was fighting the good fight. But to his critics, Ant was a cancer, a bitter, failed rapper lashing out at a world that rejected him. They saw his every move as a desperate cry for attention. They saw his exposés as nothing more than petty revenge, his beefs as desperate attempts to stay relevant. Every post, every video was dissected. His critics scrutinized his every word, looking for flaws and inconsistencies, criticized, mocked. Ant became a punchline, a cautionary tale. The media played a huge role in shaping this narrative. Headlines and news segments often painted him in a negative light, amplifying his missteps. Local news painted Ant as a troublemaker, a disruptor of peace. They highlighted his controversies, often ignoring the context or the reasons behind his actions, further cementing his image as a villain in the public eye. Section 10. The Aftermath: Ant's Impact on Washington, D.C. The impact of Ant's actions on D.C. was profound, far-reaching. It wasn't just a ripple, it was a wave that crashed through the city's cultural and economic landscape. The music scene, once vibrant and unified, was now fractured, divided. The energy that once brought people together was now a source of tension and unease. Artists were wary of collaboration. The trust that had been built over years of shared experiences and mutual respect was eroded. Trust was at an all-time low. People hesitated to engage, fearing the potential fallout from alliances. The sense of community that once defined DC hip-hop, it was gone, replaced by suspicion, by rivalry. The camaraderie that had fueled creativity was now a distant memory. Local businesses felt the sting too. The economic downturn was palpable, affecting everyone from venue owners to street vendors. Clubs that once hosted packed shows now struggled to fill seats. The nightlife that had been a cornerstone of DC's identity was fading. Record stores saw sales dip. The decline in foot traffic was a clear indicator of the broader impact on the local economy. The fear of violence, of confrontation, kept people away. Areas that were once bustling with activity now felt deserted. The economic impact was real, measurable. Businesses closed, jobs were lost, and the community suffered. Ant's beefs weren't just online drama, they had real-world consequences. The lines between entertainment and reality blurred, with devastating effects. The city's reputation took a hit as well. Negative headlines became the norm, overshadowing the positive stories that once defined DC. DC had been known for its thriving music scene, its talented artists. The city was a beacon of creativity and innovation. Now, it was known for beef. The narrative had shifted, and not for the better, for drama. For Aunt Glizzy. Tourists were wary. The city's allure was tainted by the constant undercurrent of conflict. Music industry professionals were hesitant to invest. The uncertainty made it a risky venture. The negative publicity cast a long shadow over the city. The impact of Ant's actions was a stark reminder of how quickly things could change. Section 11. The future of Aunt Glizzy. What comes next? As we look to the future, one question looms large. What's next for Aunt Glizzy? Can he sustain his controversial persona, or will the weight of his actions finally catch up to him? The digital landscape is ever-changing, fickle. Today's viral sensation is tomorrow's forgotten hashtag. Ant's staying power will be put to the test. Legal troubles loom on the horizon. The lawsuits are piling up. Defamation claims, copyright infringements, even criminal charges. Ant's habit of exposing secrets, of pushing boundaries, might finally land him in hot water. Will his online empire crumble under legal pressure?